All right, peace, everybody. I am so excited. My name is Ber-Henda Williams, and I'm the founder of Culture Shift Hers Unite, the Ber-Henda Williams Show. Soul of Lead Her, the podcast for she who lives and works from the soul. And I am a womanist convener, cultural strategist, and media producer. And I am joined here by the amazing Liliana Ospina, who has got several decades in the media industry. And this is particularly profound when we think about women and voices and controlling the narrative. This human here has not only expanded Latinos in Michigan, she has expanded it to Latinos in Michigan, USA, where she is giving us stories from across the country, from the Latino community, in Espanol también. Ella es
Mhm.
bilingüe, so she's doing it in two languages through her newsletter and through her media channel. And not only is she giving us news, she is giving us culture. And she has a beautiful annual event, a gala, where she acknowledges the contributions. And I mean, this is diasporic. I mean, she has everyone. She's got Cuba, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, Honduras. I could keep going because I don't want to miss a country. And what she does is nothing short of amazing to make sure that representation matters by including all of the voices throughout the diaspora, from business to health to finances to legal. Liliana does it all to make sure that every voice is at the table and every voice is heard. So without further ado, Liliana, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's an honor, and thank you for those beautiful, beautiful, and kind words. For me, it's an honor to be here with you. I met you over almost 10 years ago,
That's right.
and I met you because you were doing something amazing with the girlhood, no power of the
The
girl.
power of girlhood. Hmm.
And you were gathering girls from different schools and we were in Dearborn, I think, or it was in Detroit, and you hired me
Oh,
to do
I
a
think you came to the
video.
Wayne State one.
Yes, and it was it was amazing because it was Muslim girls, Latina girls, African American girls. They were all together,
All together.
listening to panelists and being part of conference. They were learning about college and different things, and it was very empowering because they were together and they were learning, and that's how we met. It's
That is.
been it's been a while. So
It's been a while.
you talk about representation, and that's what you've been doing. You also you talk about multicultural, and I mean you learn if like when you told me that you learn Spanish in Mexican town. I mean, how
Mhm.
wonderful that is. When you hear Ber-Henda Williams speaking Spanish, she speaks like a Dominican. She speaks perfect Spanish, and
Oh.
she learned it in Southwest Detroit.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, you are amazing, and we known each other for so long,
Right.
and we do things very similar because we want to give representation to our community. 10 years ago, I was a stay-at-home mom with two little ones. My daughter was 3, my son was 5, and almost 5. And I got a camera, a microphone, and my car, and put the kids in the back of the car and drive to Detroit. I live in Howell. I've been living in Howell for the last almost 13 years. I came here. I didn't know the history of Howell. We came to live here because my son has a disability. He has microtia. He was born without the right ear, so he has hearing loss. And we at that time we live in Marshall, which was almost 2 hours from Max Children's Hospital. So we started looking for a place close, and we found this house and we moved. But then, I learned the story of Howell, but that didn't stop me to drive like an hour every time I had to Detroit, or sometimes I had driven to Grand Rapids, Saginaw,
Mhm. Wherever.
and and now that the gas is so expensive, I had a hybrid, so I'm happy to drive because I only fill my car with. I was paying only $20. Now I pay like 30 because the gas is so expensive. But my point is, I always wanted to share the stories of the Latino community, because when I moved here, I saw certain newspapers, Latino newspapers, as a journalist, because my background is journalism, and I was like, this is so bad. I wanna do something.
Mhm.
And 10 years ago, I knew the future was video. I knew the future was video, because social media was changing everything. So I decided to create a digital news outlet focused on video to do the storytelling, because I'm a passionate person about storytelling. That's what makes me happy. So that's how Latinos in Michigan began, just going somewhere with my kids, taping. My kids knew that while I was doing the interviews, they had to stay sitting there with the tablets or with the cell phone, but do not interrupt. So my kids had grown with Latinos in Michigan. It's part of their life. And and then during those interviews, I began to meet like a lot of important people, or like people that are really like, wow, amazing. So my husband say to me, you should create like a gala to 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 give rewards to all those, he said, anonymous heroes, those people that are doing things for the community and nobody knows about it. So that's how Talentos Latinos Awards was born almost 8 years ago. It was born very small. I didn't know what I was doing, because put together an event is really hard and it takes months. I've been working in the event for this year since January, putting together things little by little. Now we have a bigger team. My brother is helping, my husband helps, Jens in Colombia helps, but it's complex. It's complex. And when we started, it was in a restaurant in South Detroit. The restaurant is La Terraza. It was like a small event, but I had the vision. For me, my vision was I want something like the Oscars.
Yes,
And
I
that's
love
my
that.
vision. That's what I went with the years. There is entertainment, like there is so much stuff going on. There are singers, dancers, the awards, the red carpet, and and I just love it, because people feel appreciated, and
Mhm.
people vote. There is a poll where people nominate
That's
other
right.
people, and then they vote, and then they come and get the award, they get the picture, because I had professional photographers, professional videographers. I hired people from the community to work as vendors. So I love it. I don't do it for the money, because put together an event is really hard, and getting the sponsors is
Oh,
even harder.
you
But
want to at least make sure that you don't go in the red, right? Like anyone that does
I
events,
never get in the
against,
thanks God. I never
yeah,
had, and I'm
at
so grateful
least,
to God for that.
yeah, you at
Yeah,
least want
I'm always to cover all the expenses, but I just love it, because as minority women, as minority business owners, if we don't do things to show our community and give them representation, nobody's gonna do it, because sadly the general market media only remembers people like us, like in African,
to,
the African
yeah,
Americans during the
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 stereotype, yeah.
Martin Luther King and
Mhm.
Black History Month, or
And that's
the Hispanic Heritage Month. So it's up to us, um, looking for ways to show our people that there are a lot of people doing great things for our community.
right.
And that's how I view it. And with social media, it's amazing, because before the power, it was on the TV networks and on the radio stations. They control the information, and they controlled what the public watch, or what the information people consume, right? Now
Girl.
with social media, anybody with a cell phone and a microphone can do content, and sometimes the content that regular people do is more entertainment than what media do.
Yeah, because you're a
It's
storyteller.
amazing.
And so I just want to kind of come back to a couple of things that you said, Liliana, because I want people to understand something really powerful about you and you have a network. You're not a content creator. You're a storyteller,
Oh, yes.
and you help shape narrative. So I just want to make sure people who are watching
Oh,
this
yeah.
now or watching the replay that you've named some very important things that I think makes a distinction. And not that those things are bad, but I want people to understand, because your archetype that we have for you framed for tomorrow is the creatrix. And so you are someone, you said you had a vision.
Yeah.
And I know that there are so many women that are coming tomorrow, even, and I love when this happens. We have to stop believing that because we get a certain age that we can't have a vision or a dream anymore.
No.
And you are showing that with 2 kids, a husband, you decided, I'm going to take this camera. I'm going to figure out how to use it in a microphone. I'm going to teach myself how to
Yeah.
do it. I did not see the representation of my people in a way that I know has dignity, that has legacy, that has strength, that has tumbao,
Mhm.
and you said, I am going to take it upon myself, and I'm going to create not only a company, I'm going to create a legacy. And then, like you said, the Oscars, I have been to your amazing galas, and they are like the Oscars. Well, I would say they're even better than the Oscars, because it's real people doing real life things that are impacting just your every single day life, whether it's the dentist or the coffee shop owner, or like I said, the abogada, the lawyer,
Mhm.
that is helping with immigration, the doctor. These are, you honor the people who are making an impact in our community that we can feel tangibly. And then, of course, the entertainment is amazing from all over the diaspora. And what I love is that all of us, regardless to whether you speak Spanish or not, Selena comes on, we all lose our minds.
Mhm. I love it.
I do
Yeah.
too. Selena comes on, and it's like, you know what? Everybody knows the words.
Yeah. Mhm.
Everybody knows the words.
Yeah. Going
Yeah.
back to that yeah, it's very important to mention that Latinos in Michigan. I remember the first thing I did was creating the limited liability company to create what is Latinos in Michigan today, which is a digital network. And I hire people not here but in Colombia, because like media and doing this is, you don't get a lot of money, to be honest. It's, people expect you to go cover an event for free, and gas is expensive, my time is money. But you know what? I still do it. So, and I still do it when there are things for the community, like college fairs, are things that are gonna be beneficial for the future for children and wanna go to college. I'll do it. I don't charge a dime. And that's how the digital network started. I had a journalist in Colombia that helps me with the content, writing the content. I create content, I write too, because my degree is in journalism, and that's what I've been doing for many decades. So I do the interviews, I do the camera, I do the editing. When I started the video, I didn't know how to edit. I knew how to do the camera because that was how I learned in college. But editing at that time in Colombia, it was a completely different thing, because when during my time in Colombia, you had a camerographer, you have an editor. Here, if you do this, you had to learn. So my husband learned. He taught me. Then I perfected it watching YouTube TV, YouTube videos. But I learned how to edit my videos, and I edit my videos. My content is edited by myself. What I put on online, the interviews, the podcast, and and that's how Latinos in Michigan began. It was just video content and stories of the community, a lot of resources. I remember during COVID, we were locked, but I was able to use StreamYard and interview doctors, interview people, giving resources. And that was important. I remember the before we got locked down. I'll never forget this because our doctor, a Venezuelan doctor, called me to his house. It was, I think it was March 5th, 2020, and he said, "Come here to my house because I'm telling you, this was coming is it's bigger than anything and it's terrible." So I went to the interview, and he said there is this, and it was at that time they call it pneumonia kind of symptoms. They didn't know it was COVID, and he said, "Please wash your hands, do not touch your face, always cover, use the mask." And I remember posting that interview, and a lot of people calling me, "This is a lie. You're making fun of me." And I was like, I left the content there, and it's there. It's been 6 years. And then they were like, "Oh my God, it was true.
It was
It was true." Because this doctor, he told me, I know things that I cannot tell you because, he was very scared, but it's things like that.
it's
Like,
like that,
I
yes.
I interview. There is an organization that I always contact, which is Michigan Immigrant Rights Center. That this is a nonprofit that help immigrants. So I always have a relationship with them to get me information about immigrant issues. If there is like community event that they're gonna give resources for the community, if I had to go, I'll go, or I do a remote interview because I had my studio.
Hmm.
Thanks God, like this studio, we changed, we renovated this year because this year Latinos in Michigan turns 10 years old, and because it turns 10 years old, we want to not just to be Latinos in Michigan, but Latinos in Michigan, USA, because we want to, like we already start doing it, like getting information not only from Michigan, but all over the
All
country.
over, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I get, for me, it's crazy that I have people from Europe, Spain, different places, Latin America, that see my content. And I'm like, wow. Because for me, when this began for me, I was just, I was a stay at home mom. I'm a stay at home mom because what people don't understand is when you are an entrepreneur, you are a mom, you stay at home, you work on your business. It's really hard, and that's what I
And
do.
I want you to name that too, just so I just want to kind of interject here because there's a lot that you're saying that I want people, especially women who are interested in coming tomorrow. We have about 5 tickets left, but you're saying things that I think is in our internal dialogue that we think I can't be an entrepreneur if I'm a stay-at-home mom, or you know what? I have to go back to school. When will I have time to go back to school? When will I figure that out? Who's going to see me? You just answered, I think, a lot of the things that we have in our mental chatter. People all over the world are seeing you. The world is a lot
Yeah,
smaller with social media. So the world will see
everything is global. Yeah,
everything is global. And what you're working global, but you're local. You
yes,
also named that you're a stay-at-home mom, but I think you're a mom. You're a mom on the road because you took your kids with you. So you're a mom
yeah.
on the road.
And
You have all these identities, Liliana. You're wearing so many identities, and I think for so many of us women, we wear multiple identities anyway. But it feels like you're also choosing purpose. You're choosing your gifts. So if you could share with us a bit about, especially for anyone who might be on the fence about coming tomorrow, can you say maybe what you said to yourself or maybe to your higher power about, yes, I will answer this calling. I feel deeply that I can do this. And even though I know it's hard, I know faith, I know I will be able to do this work.
one thing I had learned is that if you want something and don't even try to do it or accomplish a goal, you're gonna regret it. That's my mantra. If you like something, if you wanna do something, at least try it. Because then life is so short and unpredictable and fragile
Mhm.
that then you see another person doing what you wanted to do, and then you're like, I wanted to do that, but I was so afraid and I didn't have faith in myself that I'm here frustrated, and
Mhm.
that person is living my dream. That's how I see life. Life is short. It's super short, and I'm very grateful that my husband, he has been my biggest supporter, because when I when Latinos in Michigan began, I was like, I was afraid to be on camera. I'm not skinny, I'm not perfect like the women that you see in the news. I'm just a regular mom, wear glasses, I'm overweight, but I don't care. I mean, I just wanna I just want to do what I want to do, which is telling a story. And he said, do it.
I
And I
love
did it. And I think it's been a wonderful experience. I have met wonderful people that I would have never met if I had stayed at home.
mhm.
I'm still a stay at home mom,
I
but
know what
if
you
I
mean.
had
Yeah, I
stayed
know what you
here doing nothing,
mean. I
you
mean,
know,
look at how we met. It was online.
yes,
I think there was a post. I made a post. I was looking for a videographer, but I was very specific about wanting a woman. And I said even bonus points if we had a woman of color. And I was very specific. And I remember because it was in the Detroit Women's Leadership Network. And as you know, sometimes in there you'll get so many. I mean, it's like, whoa, I didn't even know that many existed. But there was just something so special about your spirit and so special about the way you deliver it. And then, of course, you know, tú eres bilingüe. And so that was
yes,
also super important because our girls were also bilingual too.
mm-hmm,
Mostly Spanish, and I think the other language would be Arabic. So we wanted to make sure that representation again mattered. And because you had the courage to say, "This is what I do. This
yeah.
is the offering," I think it inspires. It definitely inspires me. It
Oh,
is
you inspire
inspired
me.
me. So, I mean, I'm serious. Like you inspired me so much, and I'm like, okay, if she can do it, I know that I can do it. And then the way the care and your team, seeing like your niece and seeing, your family rally
You
around
were helping me.
like this
Yeah.
is a family business. So this is a legacy business. So, I definitely don't want to keep you too much longer. But if you can just share one thing that you want a woman who is on the fence about coming to mother. She doesn't know, like, I don't know. I don't know if I have time to do it. What would you encourage her right now to come tomorrow and to be with us?
Well, I mean, if you wanna be inspired, and if you want to have like like a, like words of inspirations and life experiences from women, like any other women, we're not talking about the model or the perfect woman. We're talking about regular women, moms, but women that had the courage to jump, because in life you have to
You gotta jump.
jump.
Gotta jump.
Sometimes you are afraid, but even if you're afraid, you have to jump. And if you made a mistake, you learn from the mistakes. So if you want to be inspired and see and meet other women, with experiences maybe empowering, that will give you the inspiration to do something, come. I mean, all of us are women of color, are we entrepreneurs, are women that are here to leave a legacy. I want, in 10, 20 years, I want my children to remember all the things I did with them when they were growing up, and the events, all the stuff, because I know in the future that's their foundation to for them to be better people. Because unfortunately, some people live in a bubble. They don't know the realities of other communities. My children are biracial. They live in Howard, and you know what? My children had more culture, the Mexican culture, than a lot of Mexican children or Mexican American children that live here in Howard, or they
Mhm.
have more experiences with a the Mexican community than that other kids here. I have friends of my daughter that they don't let her, when we go to Detroit, they don't let her go. And I'm thinking, you're missing out because you are in a bubble. You need to,
The stereotypes that that
yes. And I
say,
had other friends that, like, for instance, they came to the Cinco de Mayo parade, and they came to Mexican town with us, and they love it because they see the beauty of the culture. They see the difference, the food. I mean, that's how I feel, that showing people or the younger generations, other other communities, and that's what I love about what I've been doing, because my kids know that that the Hispanic community is so big, and they understand that, but and big and diverse,
That's right.
and other kids, they don't understand that, and they might have immigrant parents, but
Mhm.
they don't, it's complex. Some
It's
people.
very complex. Yeah, it's very complex. And so,
So
yeah,
that's my message.
that
Just,
is a beautiful message. So again, I want to thank you, of course, for being here with me
oh
today.
no.
My heart is so full. And come tomorrow. So the event that we're talking about is Seasons of Womanhood, and Liliana is one of five amazing women. So it's Liliana, Samantha Barish from Practice Collective, Joe from Joe Upscale's Resale Shop, Dr. Dana Braxton, who does perimenopause and menopause education and health related to women, and then of course the amazing Susan Halliday from Leadership Oakland. And so we're all talking about just the different seasons of womanhood. So not just spring, winter, and fall, but just where you might find yourself. So the creatrix that always lives inside of us, the sovereign. For those of us who are ready to stand up and to hear our own voices. The leadership that lives in us. The initiate. Sometimes you'll start over and over and over again in life. One path may close. You might find that the path maybe you went down, not so much. This isn't who I am. This is not who I am anymore. Evolution. And I think that that's okay. That's all part of it. And like I said, so many of us may find ourselves in seasons where we're caregiving and, raising children at the same time, maybe divorcing or maybe the loss of a spouse. Things come in our lives. And Liliana, I'm sure you've got plenty of stories of where life interrupts you.
Mhm.
What do you do with life interruption? And I believe we lean in, we come together, we come into community. So Liliana is joining the panel tomorrow. So as we close, Liliana, are there any parting words that you have for someone that may be on the fence, and maybe something exciting that you're looking forward to tomorrow?
I'm looking forward to learn, because you learn a lot of things from other people's experience, and sometimes you can relate,
Mhm.
and I love the fact that I'm one of the panelists. I love the fact that I'm gonna meet different women, but we all have a lot of things in common, and that's how you meet wonderful people. If you don't just go to events and meet people and see other cultures or see something different out of your bubble, you're missing out. And that's how we met. That's how I met. And so
Exactly
I'm
how we.
so grateful that 10 years ago, when I started my business, that's how I began. I fall in love with Southwest Troy. I fall in love with all this community. I have friends for 10 years like you, people that are wonderful, and they know that I love them, and
Mm.
I'm here for the community to share the stories of wonderful people, and I'm so happy that now I see more people doing what I do, doing creating stories, creating content. I see more Latino journalists helping the community, and I think that's wonderful, because when I started, that wasn't the case. It was just a few people, and they were very close, and now more people are jumping and taking a chance, and I love it. And this is because the social media and the cell phones, this is a powerful
Powerful.
machine.
It is. Liliana, thank you so much for joining me. So I did put a link here in the video where you can get your ticket. Brunch is included. We have brunch bites for tomorrow. It's in Joe's Upscale Resale Shop located in Southfield, Michigan. And so we have items that have been gently loved previously, and they're looking for a new home. So if you're looking at remodeling or redecorating, or sprucing up your wardrobe. There are items there for every budget and for everyone and for every season that you find yourself in terms of your womanhood. And Liliana is one of 5 amazing women that are going to be on this panel to explore the pathways and explore the different seasons that as women we find ourselves in. Liliana, thank you so much for joining me today.
No, thank you, my dear. I love you,
I love
and
you
I
too.
respect you a lot. You're a wonderful woman.
So
Thank you.
and you're gonna love everybody tomorrow. And that's what I love is that the panel they've never met each other, so this is gonna be so exciting to make new friends, to make new connections, because that's what it's really all about. Is about making connections that I hope last a lifetime. So Liliana, have a beautiful rest of your day
You too, my dear.
tomorrow, and
Thank
I will
you.
see you all tomorrow. We only have 5 tickets left, so hurry. All
Thank
right,
you.
bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.